I just want to show a close-up of my crochet pit bull dogs. Here is Leo with his sunglasses on and his baseball hat that has an S and a D on. And then here is Coral, just showing a different color, how you can have fun with the yarn colors. And also I show how to make her eyes. I have a separate video tutorial that shows how to make her head, and then the rest of the crochet pit bull is made the same way as my original crochet pit bull. I just had to modify the ears, and then in my updated video tutorial I show you how to have fun with the colors without color changing on the head. And then here is another one just showing a different color style. They are all wearing pet outfits. These are real pet outfits, and they range from size small to medium. This is what they look like from behind. Her outfit says Little Miss Perfect. Here, this one has a little fish on it, and also their collars too. I had fun with the different colors, but I also show you in a different video tutorial how to make their spiked collar. And I also just wanted to show you what Leo looks like with safety doll eyes. For his sunglasses, I was able to take off the logo that was on one of the sides with fingernail polish remover, and then I just put some blue electrical tape on the side because it did take off a little bit of the natural color on the sunglasses. And then I just left the stuff on the other side of the sunglasses. It just says share happiness. Then I just wanted to show you the difference between the safety doll eyes and the eyes that I show you how to make yourself. This is what Leo looks like without his baseball hat on. And again, there's a separate video tutorial for the crochet pit bull, my original version as well as the updated version. For this video tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this adorable crochet baseball hat. And this is what it looks like on the other side. For this crochet project, you're going to need your 4mm crochet hook, tapestry needle, as well as a pair of scissors. The yarn that I'm using is by Red Heart Super Saver, and the color is soft navy. Here's some information about this yarn. You're only going to need one skein of this yarn, and this is what's included, the amount in this yarn. The other yarn that I'm using is also by Red Heart Super Saver, and the color is soft white, and it's the same information. You're going to start with whatever main color you want for your hat, and we're going to start with a magic circle. So just take your yarn, drape it across your 4 fingers, use your thumb to stabilize, wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers, and then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Then take your crochet hook, go under those 2 loops around the middle fingers, bring up a loop, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for a slip knot. Then you're going to make 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So there's 1, 2, 3, and my last one. So I have a total of 6 single crochet in the magic circle. Then you just take your forefinger and thumb. You're going to hold the base of those 6 single crochet, You have these 2 loops on the opposite side. You're going to pull on one of them to close the circle. If it doesn't start to close, let go and pull on the other one, but this one's closing. Just gently close it as much as you can. You can always close it more later, so don't worry if it doesn't completely close. Then take that loose yarn end and pull on that. Then you're just going to take your work and turn it so that we can start crocheting in the round in the first stitch. So you just take your crochet hook, go into that first stitch, and then you're going to make 2 single crochet into that every stitch around. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch, and you're going to make 2 single crochet in every stitch around until you have a total of 12 stitches, and then come back. Then you can take and turn your work over and then pull on that loose yarn end if you want to completely close the center of your magic circle. Now we're going to continue with the increase rounds, which means we're going to continue to increase the number of stitches in the round. You can go ahead and get your yarn marker now. I just like to use one of my scraps of yarn. To me it's just easier. Just place it right where I left off. For the first increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. Then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. So go ahead, repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker, and then come back. Now you should have a total of 18 stitches in the round. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up for our next increase round. For this next increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the same stitch for the third stitch. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch. Repeating that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. You should have finished 24 stitches on that last round, and then just take and move your yarn marker up to get ready for your next increase round. And then for your next increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the fourth stitch. Then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Then you should have had 30 stitches in the round for that last increase round. Then you can go ahead and move your yarn marker up, and for the next increase round you're going to make 1 single crochet into 4 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the fifth stitch, and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Then you should have finished 36 stitches in the round. Then you're going to move your yarn marker up, and this time you're going to make 1 single crochet into 5 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 6th stitch, and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So after that round you should have 42 stitches total in the round. Go ahead and remove your yarn marker now, and we're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. So just go into the next stitch, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. Then go ahead and finish off, just yarn over, and go ahead and just pull enough yarn through to bury the loose yarn end. For the top part of the hat, you're going to make it the same way that you did the bottom portion of the hat. The only difference is you're going to stop after you complete the round, the increase round of 1 single crochet into 4 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 5th stitch. So it's going to be just slightly smaller in the round. You should have finished 36 stitches in the round. Then you're just going to take your yarn marker and move it up, and you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So only one single crochet in every stitch. Every time that you get back to your yarn marker, you should have a total of 36 stitches because we're not increasing the number of stitches in the round. And when you reach your yarn marker, just continue crocheting one single crochet in every stitch around. And you should start forming a cup appearance, a cup appearance. Then you're going to make 7 rounds of one single crochet into every stitch. You can see how I formed a cup, which will form the top of the hat. Then you're just going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. Just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. Then you can go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring enough yarn through to sew the hat on. But before we sew the hat on, we're going to make the design on the front. For the letters, what I did was I just took my white colored yarn, or whatever color yarn you want for the letters. Take your yarn, fold it over on itself to form a loop. Then just take your crochet hook, go right through the loop, hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb. Then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for a slip knot. Just cinch that knot down. Then you're going to make a chain. I'm just going to show you 4 of them, but you're going to make a chain of 25. So just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead, finish a chain of 25, and then come back. So I have a chain of 25. Then I'm going to go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the lettering onto the hat. And you're going to need 2 chains if you're making the same lettering as me. I'm making an S and a D. So you need 2 chains of 25 stitches. So now you're going to take your tapestry needle and you're going to put it through the long end that you left for sewing on your chain. And the back of the hat will be where you finished off or fastened off. Then I went in right, here's the magic circle. So counting the magic circle as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just under the 5th row, I'm going to go through with my tapestry needle. And then I'm just going to form the S and then sew down the S. If you want to overlap the letters, come back and I'll show you how I did that. Before I did any sewing, I formed my S, so I know how I want the S to lie before I start to sew, so it's not crooked. Then you can start sewing down the S. Then I reached my first part where I want to overlap, so I'm going to remove my tapestry needle for now and then start forming my D. So for my D, I want to come right in the first C shape of the S and bring my chain through. That way I can sew it, and I want it to go under the first part of the S. Oop. Now you don't want to, let me bring that back down. So I have the inside part is where I have the yarn for sewing. Then for the first part of the D, I want to bring the chain under and then on top of the S. Just like this. Then I'm going to go ahead and form the first part of the D and just sew it in place. Just going straight down and making sure that you hold the S shape as well as you sew. Then you can go ahead and sew down the D shape. Then I just finished sewing down the S shape. And that's what my hat looks like after I'm finished. Now I can take the bottom portion of the hat, but before we sew the bottom portion of the hat on, let's make a little button for the top of your hat. We're going to start with the same colored yarn as your hat, and we're going to make a magic circle, just like we did before. We're going to make a slip knot first. Then you're going to make 6 single crochet into the magic circle, and I'm just going to make this a little bit faster because we've already done this. So after you finish 6 single crochet, you can go ahead and close it. Then just turn your work, and you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around until you have the size that you want for your button. I'm just going to make 2 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch. Then you can go ahead and turn your work inside out. And trim your loose yarn end. Go ahead and tuck any remaining loose yarn end into the center of your button. Then we're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. And then you can go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the button onto your hat. So I just placed my button right on the center of the magic circle, and then I'm going to go right through the center of my button because I want it to be flat against the top. I don't want it to poke up, and just sew it in place. Just go all around, sewing your button to the top of your hat. This is what mine looks like so far with the button on top. Now we're ready to stuff it and sew it on top of the bottom portion. For the bottom portion, go ahead and take any loose yarn ends, and you're just going to weave them through your work to kind of bury them, because we don't want them showing. So you just trim it. Once you've weaved it through, just trim it, and then that just buries it. Don't worry about this jagged edge here because that's going to be not showing. We're going to sew that to the under portion of the top portion of the hat. Now this was the side where I had the loose yarn end for the magic circle. So that's going to be down on the wrong side. I want the right side facing up. And then I want the front of the hat to be the straight edge. So put the jagged edge, if you have one, towards the back of the hat. Now you're going to line up your hat with what you want showing for the brim of the hat, and you're going to place your yarn markers. So I'm going to show you where I placed my yarn markers. Now for the right yarn marker, I placed my yarn marker in that first stitch, and then count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 stitches over for your second yarn marker on the left. Then you're going to take your crochet hook. You're not going to go into the stitch where you have the yarn marker. You're going to go into the next stitch over. You're going to bring up a loop with your same colored yarn, chain 1, tie a knot, and then I'm going to carry my loose yarn end so I can bury it as I crochet. You're going to go into the next stitch over, go behind your loose yarn end, bring up a loop, make a single crochet, and you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch to the next yarn marker, and then don't make a single crochet into the same stitch as your yarn marker. Your last single crochet will be in the stitch right before your next yarn marker. Then, this is what my work looks like so far. Go ahead and just turn your work, go into the next stitch over and make a single crochet, and then make one single crochet in every stitch back across. When you finish your single crochet in the last stitch right before your yarn marker, go ahead and chain one, turn your work, and then make a single crochet into the next stitch over and make one single crochet in every stitch back across. Then you're going to chain one, turn your work, make a single crochet into the next stitch over and to every stitch back across. So one single crochet in every stitch back across. Now you can go ahead and finish off. After you finish your last stitch, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through for sewing to the hat, the top of the hat. And this is what my work looks like after I'm finished. Now just take and place a little bit of stuffing into your hat. Then you can take the bottom portion, make sure that you have the right side facing up for the brim of the hat, and then when you flip the hat over, you're going to have the wrong side facing you. And then you're just going to line it up, make sure you have it straight the way you want it. Then you can take your tapestry needle and you're just going to sew the edges. So I sewed the back edges first, and I'm leaving the yarn markers for now. Make sure that you don't sew the yarn markers into the hat. They're just there for guidance. And then just tuck your craft stuffing into the hat and then just sew the edges all the way around. Then once I have the back sewn on, I go ahead and just remove the yarn markers and then just sew across the front. Now there are two options for your hat. You can sew your hat onto your dog just like this, or you can make the loops for the ears, which is what I'm going to do for mine. So for the loops that go around the ears, just make a chain of 25 just like we did for the lettering, and you're going to make 2 of them. Then I just took my tapestry needle. I'm going to go down at the edge of the front of the hat. This is the short end that I left for sewing. Left for the loose yarn end, and then the long end that I left for sewing. I think I left it a little bit too long. You don't really need that long. And then I just come up a couple of 1 to 2 stitches over on the edge of the hat, and then just sew the loop in place. Since I have a longer end, I'm just going to make a couple of stitches to strengthen it. And then you just tie a knot and bury the loose yarn ends and repeat the same thing on the opposite side of the hat. And this is what my hat looks like with the ear loops in place. And his fat hat fits perfectly on his head.